right, what's up, live viewers? How's everybody doing? I have a treat today. I have my friend from the north. And no, I'm not talking about Maine. I'm talking about from up in Canada. That's right. We have the one, the only, Linescrew1. What's up, man? How are you doing?
How's it going, eh? I got to use the stereotype.
How's it going, eh? Oh, man, do I have to talk like that or you won't understand me?
About an interview, eh?
About. Wait, I have to go get my toque.
I'm wearing the Hawaiian one today.
The Hawaiian one. Cool. All right, man. Well, you are an RVer. Is that what you call yourself? A nomad? An RVer? How do you say it? RVer?
I'm an RV.
RVer. Now, you are, I guess, the dual RVer. You travel back and forth between the U.S. and Canada a lot. Is there a big difference that you see between as you RVing, not as in Canada and U.S., but is there a big difference as for an RVer?
No, actually, the only fundamental difference I find with RVers in the United States versus Canada is so the American RVers like big units. They like the big Class A's, and then they'll tow a Cadillac behind it.
Yeah.
Canadians do that. And I'll tell you why, because the price of fuel is so expensive in Canada, and when we come to your country, the Canadian dollar right now is worth 25% less.
Oh.
So we're thrifty on the fuel. So we like smaller units, and if we're going to tow a vehicle, it's going to be a small 4-cylinder vehicle for the most part.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of times in your videos that the gas prices are like pretty crazy up there. Is it always like that, or is it just like?
I'll tell you what the price of fuel. Let me just convert it all in my head right now. It's about $6.75 for an imperial gallon. $6.75 for an imperial gallon. So that would be maybe, I don't know, $5.20 for a U.S. gallon.
Wow.
Now, if you convert to U.S. dollars, it would be less, but that's in Canadian dollars, right? So it's expensive.
That is quite expensive. That's crazy. Wow.
That's why I got a couple vehicles. I got a Mazda 3 and a Mustang and the RV. So if I'm going to drive, say, quite a ways into Vancouver to do something, I'm going to take the Mazda. It just makes sense. You gotta save when you can, right?
Yeah. Well, that brings me to a good question that I think is, all right, down here a lot of people say, well, why buy a house or rent or anything where you can live in an RV and travel around for a lot cheaper? Is the cost of living up there about the same here, or does it still equal out?
In the Metro Vancouver area where I live, the average home is worth about $1.3 million. I actually lived in a house in Vancouver till I moved into the RV 4 years ago. And how I did that was because I was going to store this thing over the winter, and I figured, hey, let's just see if I can live in it over the winter as a proof of concept. And what became an experiment became a full-time thing.
Wow.
And the average home, $1.4 million, and that's a whole lot of money. And then property taxes, fuel, everything's expensive except for healthcare, really, in this country.
So that high gas price, it's still.
On the border, though, I do drive, like last week, I took the Mazda. If anybody caught that legal marijuana grow operation video, I did fill up the Mazda while I was down there, because why not? Same with getting milk, cheese, I buy that, because I live on the border, right? So.
Cool. Yeah. Why not, man? Why not? Nothing wrong with that. Work smart, right?
Hey, take advantage of both countries. Each country has something to offer. And if you live on the border, you can play that game and try to get ahead, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, it's only smart. I don't see anything wrong with it. Use your brain, people. Come on.
Well, a lot of Americans don't own this. It's a passport. That's my Canadian passport. It's always with me, and the reason I always keep it in my pocket is because if I'm just driving down the freeway and I need gas, and I realize, hey, the border's just 10 minutes away, I'm just going to slip in and cross the border. I'll be in the excited states of America, as I like to call it, for 10 minutes to get some gas, and I'm back in Canada. And I would say 85% of Canadians own a passport, where I think passport ownership in the U.S. is probably only around 35%.
Yeah,
I would guess.
it's
You know,
not that much. I think it's growing. For
yeah,
I
it's
know when I go to my post office box, I always see a big line of people at the passport section. So I think more people are kind of getting smart about it and catching on. But I mean, for the longest time, we could just travel back and forth to Canada and to Mexico. We didn't need a passport unless we were going abroad. But since I guess 9/11, we all have to have one. So yeah, I know I got mine.
Hey, I remember as a kid, I'd be maybe 14. I would ride my bicycle across the border with no ID with friends just to get ice cream. And the border guard would say, "Where are you going?" "We're going to get ice cream." And they just, okay, because they knew you're coming back anyway, and they didn't give a crap. But
Right.
9/11 changed everything.
Yeah, because you used to go up to Niagara Falls, and back then
Yeah.
you went back and forth to Canada side and it didn't matter. Now it's like a big to do. So yeah, things change, don't they?
Yeah.
Now,
Niagara Falls, it's a nice place. The irony is the American Falls can only really be seen well from Canada. That's
yeah.
the irony about the American Falls.
Now, do you attend any of the U.S. RV things, like say the RTR, Camp Fest, and all that? Do you attend any of those?
I attended RTR, not the last one, the one before that. So I got to meet a lot of people down there, and I got quite sick because if you guys follow the RTR, quite often people wind up getting sick down there from either the change of climate or just from, people come from all over North America and we all exchange viruses, and it's cold and flu season.
Yeah.
So I got damn sick down there, and last year I know I was in Hawaii during the last RTR. That's why I'm doing my own RTR in Hawaii again. I got to give a plug. It's called Royal Tropical Rendezvous. It's going to be January 17th in Oahu on the North Shore at Waimea Bay. So anybody in the area want to come to the islands? RTR, Royal Tropical Rendezvous, Bob. I'm not stealing his rubber tramp thing. So and that gives homage to the nomads that were Hawaiians originally. So
yeah, awesome. Hawaii, man,
So
that sounds like fun.
So I'll be in Hawaii during Bob Wells's RTR this year, doing my own thing in Hawaii.
Oh, trying to steal Bob's RTR people to go to Hawaii instead.
The missile crisis. If you remember the incoming missile text message that we all got in Hawaii,
Yeah.
I was there for that, and I put up a couple videos that day, and that was one hell of a day in Hawaii, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, I bet. Wow. Damn, I
We
didn't
thought
know
we
you
were
were there.
gonna die.
That's
Yeah.
insane. I didn't know you were there for all that mess. Wow.
Yeah, I was there for that. I put videos up immediately, and because I figured, well, if you're gonna die, well, dying in Hawaii is not the worst place, and what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hide in the bathroom. The blast will come through. If I live, I guess I'll have to eat junk food from the broken windows of the convenience store in Waikiki down the street.
That's right.
So what are you gonna do, right? So, yeah, it was a hell of a day. Yeah.
Yeah. Where would you rather die at? Hawaii or in the desert? Yeah, I think I'd pick Hawaii.
Well, it just looks better on the obituary because people go, "What the hell was he doing there? He's an RVer. What's he in Hawaii?" May we die in unusual circumstances, I think.
Yeah. How did he get his RV there?
People actually did ask me that. I said, "No, I flew, man." I left the RV at the airport, which is what I like to do.
Oh man. Are there as many full timers in Canada as there seem to be here?
Oh, pardon me, I missed that.
Is there as many like full timers in Canada as there seems to be here?
Not as many, only because we have less people as it is. So, we have a population less than California, and we're the second largest country in the world. And away from the coast, it's darn cold. So we just don't have as many RVers, period. We don't have as many anything as you guys do. Right?
Gotcha.
So it's just a factor of the population and the size. So, but we got more places to travel and more places to camp for free out in the bush, or as we call it, crown land. It's just owned by the federal government, and it's just free land for anybody to use as long as you don't build a dwelling.
Well, I know you guys got a beautiful country. I mean, it's beautiful there. And I know from watching your videos and Van City Van Life and some other Canadians that I watched that it does seem like that you guys have a lot more places to park and camp and shower and, do all that fun stuff than we do down here.
Well, maybe not the shower part. We got a lot of undeveloped campgrounds where it's you can shower or bath in the lake, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in an RV park at the moment. I'm actually going to be leaving here today, going to another location. But I keep bouncing around. I'm a Thousand Trails member, and I got a few places I can stay for free. So it works for me.
All right. Well, so you're a Thousand Trails member. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. How do you find it? Do you like it? Is it worth it? Do you think?
Well, yeah, especially when you're traveling in the United States. Like last year, I think I spent, I don't know, 150 days at least in the Thousand Trail system. And especially when you're in places like Palm Springs or Santa Barbara, it's nice. I like it. It works for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but it tends to work for me. You got to do 2 weeks in, and then you got to be a week out, and then you can go back in for 2 weeks. And yeah, there's all these rules, but it works.
Yeah, when the wife and I were actually thinking about, that's how I got watching all these RVers and all you guys, and we were actually thinking about, and I did a lot of research. I don't do anything. I just don't jump into things. I got to look and see what everything is. What's this Class A, Class C shit, and what's a black tank and gray tank, and I start hearing about this boondock and what the hell is that? And then I hear about the Thousand Trails and this and that. And I'm like, what is all this shit? So that's why I started watching you guys to find out what all this was. And there are some people that really use that Thousand Trails to its full potential, and they seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, hey, it's cheap. If you want cheap travel with your RV, that's the way to go. So I noticed the weed whacker's getting closer.
So do you prefer to do the campsite thing, or do you boondock, or you split it up, or how do you do that?
I like to split it up. I do everything based on what I'm about to do, what I am doing, and the climate. So if I look at the forecast for the next week and it's going to be damn hot, because I got a dog, and if I take off for 2 hours in my car, I can't leave my dog in the RV that's going to be 95, 100 degrees because she'll die.
Right.
So I could be plugged in with the 30 amp or my dog's going to die. So if it's cool, I don't have to worry about it. I can be anywhere, especially even for my own comfort. So
yeah.
In the winter, if it's going to be cold, I need to be plugged in. But when the weather is like what it is right now, I can go out in the bush. I've got a few places that I call my undisclosed locations where I can go that are, there's no services, but I got solar, and I can just do my own thing with a lot of privacy, and I like that.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
So it's based on climate and needs, or, I still have a social life. I still have, obligations and things to do. If, friends say, hey, let's catch a hockey game, or, hockey season's over right now. But, if I had a hockey game or a rock concert to go to, I got a plan to be in Vancouver. So I got to, think ahead about where I'm going to be and how I'm going to get there. And that's kind of still why I need the cars.
Yeah.
Because I'm not driving this at 9 miles per gallon trying to spot downtown Vancouver, because it's not going to work. I can't fit in the underground parking, and you know how it is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now you mentioned the word comfort. Are there any like comforts that you had to give up that you miss and that you wish or nothing really big?
I got a small RV. It's less than 23 feet. I got 3 televisions. I've got broadband mobile hotspot. I've got Netflix I can run off of it. I've got my Amazon Alexa that'll turn the lights on and off if I'm feeling sick and I'm lazy. I've got I got the security camera now. I've got an ice machine, fridge, freezer, shower. I have everything that people have at home, maybe more. Some people don't even have air conditioning, and I have that.
That's very true. Very true. That is true.
So I've done without nothing. because I remember living in apartments where I didn't have air conditioning and I didn't have an ice machine and I didn't have decent internet. So you know what? I think you can live small, but you can still, with technology, have everything you want.
Yeah,
And you know,
I
it's no
agree.
excuse to not be comfortable. No excuse.
That's true. Now, you're a single guy. Would your
Divorced.
what's that?
Divorced.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Would
single.
would this lifestyle be something that, if of course a partner, would it change anything if you had, say, it was more than just you and a dog? Do you think it would be any different?
Well, I joke with friends about that. I go, I'm thinking about changing my online dating profile. And if I meet the right woman, I want her to send me a picture. I want to see a picture of her RV. I don't care what she looks like. I just want a picture of her RV. Because she ain't moving into mine. She can park next to me. But, so,
There you go. That answers that question.
but let's put it this way. I don't talk about my romantic life, but I've had my head squeezed in the last few years from a few people that have kind of forced me to make a decision about getting serious. And I've been too busy traveling, and I may have hurt these people inadvertently by um, not making that commitment. But I'm too much into this lifestyle and just doing my own thing. I really am comfortable with it, and I don't think there's any point right now for me to make any serious commitments with anybody. Especially because I'm kind of not emotionally available because I'm too busy with all my hobbies and interests and things I want to do. Because why would I get serious when I'm going to look at her in the eye and say, "Well, honey, you still got a job, you don't have a pension. I'm going to Hawaii. See
Yeah.
ya." You can't do a woman, right?
Right.
So I understand that, and I understand who I am and where I'm at in life, and the future is unknown. Who knows? I probably will settle down again at some point, but until then, I'm just gonna, enjoy my French beer.
Yes. Yes. Now, you seem to be different from a lot of the RVers, at least here on YouTube that I watch. I mean, I'm not saying I know every YouTuber, but in the fact that you do have, you just said you have responsibilities and things. So it's not just, I mean, how many of these RVers did we watch that have, a car or two or three, and have to actually be somewhere because they have an obligation and they have to go to work and they pay their own way and all that. So you're different in that way. Um,
Yeah, well, I'm lucky. I have about 5 to 6 income sources. I got a pension. I worked in government for many different agencies for quite a few years, and I still got benefits and life insurance, and I'm thankful for that. I could have kept working to get a bigger pension, but I decided that I didn't want to do that. And I've got my YouTube income. I've got income that I make from selling stock video that goes into television commercials and documentaries, things like that. So I make licensing money from that. And currently, I have a contractual obligation right now that if I stay till October, I get a completion bonus on the contract, and then I will have the entire winter off and be unemployed. But right now, I'm a contractor, and I have an obligation to do what I'm doing right now, and it's nice. It's nice to have a place to be, things to do,
yeah,
uh,
a
interact
purpose.
with people. I like that. But I'm not permanently employed. I'm not. I like my personal time. Like today is my time. I don't have anything to do today other than to talk to you, and I'm enjoying that.
Well, I appreciate you taking your time off to spend some time with me. Now, with all that going on, why YouTube? When did you start, and why did you start YouTubing?
Well, I was kind of an amateur musician, and I got out of it for years, and because I was married, and after that I had many relationships, and I put all my hobbies aside, and I was just focusing on my career. And one day, in between relationships, I realized all I was doing was watching TV, and I had no more hobbies. So what had happened is I ran out and bought a whole bunch of guitars and got back into music, and I really enjoyed it. But I realized I'm never going to make any money off of this, and I'm never going to be a professional. But I still want to do creative things. So after the guitar thing, where I ran about a whole bunch of Stratocasters and Ibanez metal guitars and shit, I decided, hey, let's do video. And I didn't have a clue how to edit a video. I didn't even know how to take a lens cap off. I didn't know anything. I learned from a 12-year-old kid on YouTube that I can't even remember his name. And and from that, I my first YouTube video, which is still on this channel, was Sonny Bono's grave. You know, Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
You're old enough to remember.
Oh yeah.
I put my claim to fame is I put Sonny Bono's grave. He's buried in Palm Springs, which actually is kind of Palm Springs area, Palm Desert's been my second home for the last 20 years. So I put this video up. You know, very simple, crude, and I didn't know how to do a lot of things. And then I kept doing crazy videos of other things, a lot of nonsense. And then as soon as I bought this RV behind me and started talking about it, then I became an RV YouTuber by accident. And by then my skills improved a little bit too. And then I started selling production video footage through Pond 5 and Shutterstock. And then, that first time when you turn the TV on or you're watching a documentary and you realize, hey, that's my shot.
Yeah.
And I'm the last to know because I sell through brokers. The brokers don't tell me, where the footage goes. They just pay me. And, I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. If I'm a nobody and can do this and get one sale, why don't I keep doing it and try to get a whole bunch of sales?
Yeah.
And that's what. So I've got a fairly large portfolio, and my stuff's been seen all around the world. And I've been in there was a documentary done called the 11-11-11 Project. I've done free stuff like that for them, where there was a project where people on the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th year, you film something that's happening in your part of the world wherever you're at. And I shot something in Vancouver with a telephoto lens of the downtown Vancouver area, and it made it in there, and the producer thanked me, and it was great. And, I've done small things like that, and it's just fun. You don't always get paid, but it's just nice to do. It's a hobby.
Well, yeah, it's very cool. I mean, especially if you, like you said, you're a creative person, you like to create stuff, man. It's always nice to get your shit seen by somebody else than just you. That's awesome, man.
The next step, I'd like to get back more into the music, because all my guitars are, except for I got a cheap Yamaha on there, but I haven't played much in a while, and I'd like to produce some stock music to sell, because you notice I got a lot of licensed music on my channel.
Yeah.
From professional musicians, and I'd like to produce a little bit of that and sound effects and licensed sound effects and music down the road when I kind of have more time. I'd like to try that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, that's what the Unabassist and I, we get together once in a while and just do stupid little songs for me to use on my YouTube channel, so I don't have to use the same old stuff everybody else gets to pick from YouTube, and then I don't have to pay anybody else. I got one in my pocket. We can make original shit and play it on my channel. Yeah. And I put a link to his page, and they can go listen to his stuff if they want. So yeah, I get it, man. It's pretty cool. Now, what do you think about people that try to just fund their wonderful RV lifestyle through YouTube exclusively? Do you think people that rely on that is smart, or they playing craps?
It's kind of like the old what was it? I don't know if it was Chairman Mao or which of the communist leaders said, "Hey, it doesn't matter what color the cat is as long as it catches mice."
Yeah.
To paraphrase, use a political statement in a broad sense for YouTube. But if you can get away with it, God bless you. If you're not bothering anybody, you're not putting up drivel, that's fine. But you got to remember, though, that every celebrity in the world eventually loses their fame, and the audiences are fickle and they come and go. So rely on it. Might not be the best thing, especially if you're not kicking in to create a pension for yourself. If you're a young person, enjoy it while you can. Put some money aside, because in the end, you're going to have to get a job, because you're not going to have a pension. And when everybody else of your peers are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they got a pension, and you don't, you're going to have a problem. And it's not going to be sexy. Because I remember being broke in my 20s, it was fine. But being broke in your 50s or 60s, it's not fun.
Yeah.
So
And we don't have the health care you guys do. So
we
when you
got
get old and shit stops working, you got to go to the doctor and pay out your ass, not like you guys do. So that's a very, very wise tip for you guys that are young out there. Listen.
yeah. Well, I always tell them get a good job that you might not necessarily love your job because a lot of people, let's face it, 90% of the jobs in society aren't fun and sexy, but they got to be done. And sewer's got to be cleaned, sandwiches got to be made. But you got to think ahead. And I made a lot of mistakes in life, but the one mistake I didn't make was getting a pension. So get a government job, get a good corporate job, something that gives you money in the future that is secure, or as secure as it can be, because of course, all the governments could collapse and all the pensions could collapse. So, of course, that could happen. But in the meantime, then, if that did happen, everybody'd be screwed. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, you won't be by yourself, that's for sure.
I'll got a lot of company. I'll be in the basement with you and the Unabassist writing the new hit single.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Showing up with 3 guitars in my Mazda.
Now, while we're talking about all the YouTubers and doing everything and the fickle mind, I see there's just seems to be an overabundance of YouTubers that are RVers now. Do you see that too, or is it just me?
Yeah, everybody. Well, it's monkey see, monkey do, and they look at a channel. Okay, when I got started in YouTube, I never thought I'd get 1 million views. I'm probably close to 1.5 million on this channel alone. So I never thought this would happen. So people will look at my content and go, hey, well, whatever, look at if this middle-aged bastard can do it, why can't I? And that's actually true. You can do it. Everybody has varying success. And, of course, even if you look at the analytics of people that are popular, it's a roller coaster ride. It sometimes trends up, sometimes trends down. And, it is what it is. But, hey, good for you. But I think at a certain point we're going to hit saturation. And that's why I like to vary my topics. I don't talk about the same thing every goddamn day. If you know, I talk about, I avoid politics because I find it doesn't, it just divides people. And while everybody's entitled to their opinion about that, I don't tackle it. It's not the type of channel I want to do. But I'll talk about social issues. I'll talk about products. I'll talk about where I'm at. I'll talk about where I'm going to go, what I'm about to do. I talk about a little commentary on other people's channels occasionally. And so I mix it up constantly, and I don't make my videos long because I believe I value your time, and I'm not going to waste your time with a 15-minute video talking about something that I could talk about in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's my approach, and people complain that my videos are too short, but hey, whatever. That's the way it is, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like your stuff. You like you said, you do a lot of different stuff, and I like your comedic take on some things and your serious points on other things, and your little tips. Hey, look, if you're traveling back and forth between America and Canada, don't do this shit and do that stuff, and don't be an asshole. And I love that shit. I think it's great, man.
I appreciate that. Well, I have a long one of the sub-series in my YouTube is I have a whole bunch of border videos where I talk about the unguarded American border, and because it's got a fair bit of following and viewers, I still keep tackling the border issue because I've been down to the Mexican border and I live on the Canadian and American border, and there's a lot of funny shit that goes on at these borders, and people do stupid things. They show up at the border with Canada and they go, okay, I need a passport and I need a vaccination for my dog. They think they got it already. Meanwhile, they got their cannabis and they got their handgun and then they got the third thing, an attitude. Yeah. And then they show up at the border and they wonder why they get strip searched. They wonder why. And then they go, well, this is Canada. It's part of America. No, it's not. We're a sovereign nation. We got our own damn rules, and we got our own enough criminals here. We don't want. If you're a criminal, we don't want you coming to our country.
That's
just
right.
Like you don't want Canadian criminals coming to your country. We all just keep our own criminals.
And believe it or not, the laws are probably a little different.
The laws are completely different sometimes. Completely. Oh yeah.
Just because you can tote your gun around in Texas, don't mean you can bring it over here to Canada.
Oh man, we've had judges arrested at the border with a concealed carry permit, and they go, "But I'm a retired judge." That don't mean shit. You could be a dog catcher. We don't care. We just ask you to play by the rules,
That's
man.
right, man.
That's it. And hey, I don't. The only thing I cross that border with that I always have is bear spray.
Yeah.
A bear spray stick, and I've never had any problems in your country. I find the United States pretty safe as long as I avoid dumb areas, and but that's just me. I'm a Canadian, and having a license plate to say British Columbia can be an indication to please rob me if you're in Compton or something. So I know better, so I use my common sense.
Yeah. Now the RVers, I hate to always go back to the RVers, but that's what a lot of people know me for talking about. And you're an RVer, so what's your take on the ones that on their channel anyway? RVing is wonderful and great, and it's happy. We're always happy. Nothing ever goes bad, and maybe a flat tire, but that happens in your car. This is the most wonderful thing in the planet. I mean, come on. Why not be real about it?
Hey, yeah, you're right. It's life, man. Life is life. It don't matter whether you're living in a cave, living in an RV, or living in a mansion. Your dishwasher's going to break down. Your brakes are going to go. Your roof is going to leak. It's life. And too many people sugarcoat it. Now, like for example, I had my brakes go. I just paid for the repair. I had my hot water heater go. I didn't whine about it and ask people to pay for it. So. That's about the only difference. And I don't milk the drama. I don't start crying and commiserating about my hot water heater broke a day before I was left to Hawaii. And I just think, hey, this is good timing. I'll have a cold shower here, and I'll be in a hotel for the next week, and then I come back, I'll deal with it. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
So
I remember that video.
Yeah, but other people, and then the hot water heater broke down on a gravel road, and I had that problem. But I talked about it in terms of getting tips to fix it, but I didn't whine. Be like, poor me, But you're right. People tend to sugarcoat their lifestyle and pretend that it's better than living in a house. The only thing that's better is the adventure of meeting new people. I mean, I can't count how many other YouTube nomads that I would consider, friends or associates that I've gotten to know. And I have their number. We talk on the phone. We meet in person when we can. And like for example, Explorer Steve, he flew up here in April to hang out with me, and I've hung out with him in Vegas and in Palm Springs. He actually came down to Palm Springs when I was there in November too. So Carolyn's Vantage. I ran into an RTR in Palm Springs, and then up here in Burnaby a few weeks back, and. RV crazy. I mean, the list. I don't want to. I shouldn't really name names because I'm going to forget somebody's name, and then they might be pissed off.
Yeah.
but it's a long list of people, and I could name drop of many. Even Nomadic Fanatic has been up here, and we had a barbecue with him, and so So it's kind of fun to meet all these people, and and just chat off camera. So
yeah. I bet it is fun. I mean, it really must be a hoot to meet all those people. But yeah, you said a thing about, I live in a house and my hot water heater goes out. It doesn't last forever, just like yours. And the roof will leak, and it's just different, but the same at the same time, And, I did a little thing about, go RVing and get rid of your job and get rid of your house and live stress free. And I'm like, well, to me, knowing that I'm going to have money on this day all the time, and it's going to be this much, and my bills are going to be this much, and all that, that's stress-free to me. Not like, is my shit going to break down on the side of the highway, and, if I don't have too many likes or views on YouTube, I'm not going to get paid this. No, that's not stress-free to me. I'm sorry.
What we do here is go back. Loud.